Now let's take some time to look at graphing absolute value graphs, and we'll see what trend we get there. So again, starting with x and y, x, comma, y. We'll start with 0. It's always a good point to start with, 0, as well as let's look at negative 1 and 1 in just a minute. So y equals the absolute value of 0. Well, that's just 0. So we have the ordered pair 0, 0. You'll find that a lot of our parent functions start at the origin. Next, we'll look at the ordered pair. Let's look at negative 1 as well as 1. Y equals the absolute value of negative 1, which is 1. So we have the ordered pair negative 1, 1. And y equals the absolute value of 1, which equals 1. So we have the ordered pair 1, 1. So now this graph is starting to look very similar to our quadratic graph. Let's see if it follows a similar pattern or not by graphing 2 and negative 2. Y equals the absolute value of 2. So we have the point 2, 2. And y equals the absolute value of negative 2. So we have the point negative 2, 2. We see here, main difference between the quadratic and the absolute value graph is that we don't have a curve. This continues in a straight line. So we have a straight line graph in this V shape. So we see that our absolute value graphs have this V shape. And again, all absolute value graphs will have this shape, again, just in different orientations and positions on the graph in the coordinate grid. So let's go ahead and look at what we call a transformed version of our absolute value. So we know we need with something with a V shape. And so let's take a look and see if we can get enough points in order to get this V shape. So starting with our XY chart, we'll start with 0, 1, and negative 1. Y equals the negative absolute value of 0 plus 4, which equals 4. Y equals the negative absolute value of 1 plus 4, which equals 3. Y equals the negative absolute value of negative 1 plus 4, which also equals 3. So let's plot those points. 0, 4, negative 1, 3, as well as 1, 3. And there we see our V shape starting to form. And so we could probably make a prediction that our graph is going to move in this particular way. But let's double check it with the next 2 points. What we should see is the point negative 2, 2, as well as the point 2, comma 2. So let's see if we get those points. We'll start with negative 2. Y equals the negative absolute value of negative 2 plus 4. And that does indeed equal 2. And we're going to hopefully see that symmetry, which that also equals 2. So we know that those 2 points work, and we have the graph of our absolute value.